Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Lib Conservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing rendition of Lib Conservative, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, and the world's smartest internet show. Bell the Body Snatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, is Corey Walsh.
He's Dan Griffin.
And what a great show we have, because one of my favorite things is taking place right now, Corey. Do you know what that is?
A government shutdown.
Government shutdowns. I love.
I was going to say Pride was last month. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey-o. No, I love government shutdowns. I think they provide some of the absolute best theater, and they bring out the absolute worst in the Twitter universe, because you can tell who all of the normie useful idiots are on both sides of the aisle. It is absolutely outstanding. I saw this guy earlier today calling out Thomas Massie because he never votes on Republican bills, so he might as well just vote with the Democrats on shutting the government down. Like, you want to talk about adult? Maxine Waters is also adult. We'll get to her a little bit later on in the show. We also have, what else do we have in front of us? We got the government shut. I have so many notes on the government shutdown. I have to continue scrolling down. We have Stephen Miller going to battle with Gavin Newsom. We have another aid flotilla being
intercepted.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. By the Israelis.
I'm here for, Dan.
We have BB Netanyahu doing everything in his power to reverse the narrative. It is getting to be at a place where he is getting extraordinarily desperate.
They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it.
That's absolutely right. And we have Pete Hegseth pretty much calling a multi-million-dollar meeting of the generals for what is the most expensive this could have been said in an email meeting of all time. And we have the Comey indictment, which I kind of find interesting because I don't really know what's going to happen. And we might have some other stuff. I don't even know if we'll get to all that. There's a lot of shit to cover here. But we live in idiocracy right now, Corey. It's here. Like, it's actually here.
Yeah, idiocracy is very quickly just approaching a documentary. In the very least, it is a mockumentary of our future.
Of our present. in certain cases. And what led me to think of this film, Idiocracy, the famous I would call it a cult classic, right? Call it Idiocracy a cult classic.
I would.
About the dystopian future where Luke Wilson is the smartest man in the world and has to save the planet. The thing that first brought this to my mind was my wife and I have this thing for reality TV. One particular show, we're huge Big Brother fans. I know, you don't have to make fun of me. I already make fun of myself for it. But I'm sitting there waiting for the finale of Big Brother to come on Sunday. And what's on before Big Brother often is 60 Minutes. So I'm watching 60 Minutes, and you can already tell that the acquisition by all of Trump's buddies of CBS and Paramount, I forget the name of the corporation, doesn't really matter. But you can tell that that's taken place because one of the people being interviewed, or one of the pieces in this particular 60 Minutes episode, was the UFC CEO, Dana White. And I'm like, okay, this might actually be kind of interesting. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and I come in at the point where they're discussing the giant mega fight that will be taking place at the White House next year to celebrate the 250th birthday of our country. I'm sitting there going, there is nothing more idiocracy than that. Just some machismo UFC, and I have nothing against UFC. I'm not like a huge fan. I'm a casual fan. I'll watch the big fights. I enjoy it. But there's something super cringe about like this machismo fight event taking place on the fucking White House lawn that just led me to think of this film like, yeah, I think they should have put that in Idiocracy.
They're just doing a rebrand, man. The government's doing a rebrand.
You got the renderings, Bell?
Yeah, could you imagine if Trump came out with an M249 saw?
And just started
Welcome to the fights!
I sent Bell the renderings of like the original renderings that I think just came out a couple of days ago. They're supposed to show what this is supposed to look like. And it just looks ridiculous. Just an octagon and a bunch of probably poorly built grandstands with the White House in the background and the weigh-ins taking place at the Lincoln Memorial. What I find so funny about this isn't it like, don't you think like the people that are always offended about like people kneeling during the national anthem or like get really upset about quote unquote disrespecting the flag are going to absolutely love the fact that the UFC is just like taking over some of the United States quote unquote hallowed ground for some fucking fights? Don't you think they should be offended by that?
So if it didn't like coincide with the fucking circus happening in government right now, like it'd be like, okay, because like that stage actually looked pretty badass, right?
It does look kind of badass. And full disclosure, I will probably watch these fights. Like full disclosure, how could you not?
It looked something like a stage setup down at Hart Plaza in Detroit for anyone outside of the city. Like Hart Plaza puts on some pretty fucking badass like sets and shows, especially like the electronic movement or the hoedown back in the day, shit like that. But the fact that it coincides with all the other ridiculousness coming out of that White House, like a couple weeks ago, we had the president just up on the roof. I see you, Andrew. Like, what the fuck is going on? The mariachi thing, like recently, the tweet, like it's
with Senior Jeffries.
Funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny, and anyone trying to pearl clutch or play any role of moral superiority, I see caricatures of Trump shared all the time. I see all those ones of JD Vance where they just do a bunch of shit to his face. That mudslinging has been around since the literal inception of our country. Whatever.
Yeah.
To clutch your pearls about it and all of a sudden start calling something racist, all you're doing is like, again, delegitimizing the word racist. Like,
well, and Hakeem Jeffries kind of fucked up because you got to give credit to, R.I.P. the late Charlie Kirk and also J.D. Vance for the way that they reacted to when South Park made fun of them.
He should have just made his picture and not said anything.
Yeah, he totally should have.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Charlie Kirk did.
That's actually
Charlie Kirk thought it was hilarious. Yeah. Even if it bothers you a little bit, come on, dude. That's like low-hanging fruit. Like, what's the best way? We're talking about an entire administration run by fucking trolls right now.
What's the best way to deal with a bully? Steer into the skid when you're dealing with a bully, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Hakeem Jeffries didn't do that. He decided to clutch his pearls and go, oh, how dare you put a sombrero on my head? For those wondering why Trump put out a meme of Hakeem Jeffries with a sombrero on his head, and also Chuck Schumer, by the way, it's because the government shutdown is being blamed on the fact that, or at least being blamed by Republicans on Democrats for the fact that Democrats supposedly want to give free health care to illegal immigrants, which is not exactly the case, but we'll get into it a little bit later on in the show. That's the whole story behind the meme.
They're not even Mexican. Now, granted,
yeah, right.
I'm not well versed in my Latin American cultures, but mariachi bands are pretty
Mexican.
Mexican, right?
They're pretty goddamn Mexican, brother.
And it's some really fucking good music. I used to do carpentry, and all the masons were like Mexican. And you'd roll up, and it'd be 7 o'clock, and you're all groggy and tired, and the Mexicans are already out there working. Looks like they've been out there for about an hour. Middle of winter, they just got their tarps up with the space heaters inside. And what do you hear? Just fucking Mexican fiesta music. And it literally is like, oh, fuck yeah. All right, guys, let's fucking go. They're great people.
Up there slapping each other with the hot mops.
No, they were working too hard, Dan. That's some white boy shit. All right.
No, that was just a
That's
dumb
white boy culture.
It's just a dumb old jerky boys joke. That wasn't even original material.
I don't even know what it is. Hey, Dad,
anyway.
1990s called.
Yeah. They want the references
On my
back.
corded phone.
Go ahead and pull up the Dana White video, Bell, because this was I don't remember.
So while he's doing that, going back to what I was saying is like
He's
if
got
it wasn't
ready.
like that, if it wasn't a clown show, a UFC fight on the White House lawn would be kind of fucking cool. Like, I don't know.
Can we also agree that this isn't even going to be one of the top 10 weirdest events to happen at the White House in history?
That's true, man. You look at some of the history of the White House. Bell was talking pre-show about the cheese and whiskey party that Jackson threw.
That's the other part. When Jackson was president, he had a party at the White House because in the very beginning it was like considered almost like the people's house. Like you could go into it and shit because there wasn't very many people in America, let alone being able to get to DC.
And there certainly weren't any damn illegals.
They were all illegals, bud.
True.
Newsflash, bucko. But yeah, there was a big ass party there where a big piece of cheese was donated by I forget who, but I guess it smelled bad. And there was a bunch of whiskey, and they had like a 21-day party at the White House lawn or something like that. Like
just stunk like cheese.
This ground ain't as sacred or hollow as everyone's pretending it is. Like it's a fucking building.
Oh no, it's hollow. It might not be hallowed, but it's hollow. There's no question about that. See what I did there?
Ew.
Go ahead and roll Dana talking on the Full Send podcast about this ridiculously awesome yet super cringe event that's supposed to take place at the White House. It's both. It's awesome and it's cringe. They can be both things, right? It can be both things.
When the fight is going on, while the fight's happening and we're filming, one whole side of the backdrop will be the White House, and then the other side will be the Washington Monument.
How many fighters reach out to you that want to fight it?
Everybody wants to fight.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Literally, everybody wants. Everybody. We will absolutely, positively put on the baddest card.
I want to fight in it.
So McGregor hasn't been in a while. I saw it right when this came out. He was back in the ring. He was actually sending us voice messages saying, "Guys, I'm dialed. I'm ready for this."
Name drop.
And I saw Jones. We don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back?
You jump back in the pool. So
really, officially.
Oh yeah. Literally everybody wants to fight on this card. It's makes it a lot more fun. The dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones.
Is it possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be. When the fight is going on.
Very good.
Pretty cool, right?
Full disclosure, I'll absolutely watch it.
I'll get the pay-per-view. Is it fucking clownish? Sure, but it's also kind of cool. Like if it was a normal administration and they did this, everyone would be like, yeah, that's kind of cool. But it's just because it's a layer to absurdity that it's like, Jesus Christ.
It's totally Idiocracy.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
There's going to be so many pyrotechnics. It's going to be a fucking security goddamn nightmare.
Is it going to happen again? Is it going to happen again?
What?
No, it won't.
No?
You mean like another UFC fight?
No, the White House burning down.
The White House getting caught on fire. There's going to be a big block of cheese.
Oh, man.
Now,
that's just
on the other hand, weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial, that seems
weird.
A little tasty. That doesn't seem very tasteful. Just do them like, I don't know.
That could change.
Do them in the garden.
That's just what the renderings are showing. That could easily change. But yeah,
that's the like, because this is divisive. The whole Lincoln Memorial is about like unification and shit. Don't do something. Don't ever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Don't ever do something that's divisive.
dude.
Like, have you ever been to the Lincoln Memorial?
Yeah.
Bell, have you ever been to the Lincoln Memorial? He's shaking his head no,
no.
because people can see him when he's off stage. But anyways, and it's, I don't know. There's, because of the context and the history of it, it is probably one of the few things that ever been like, wow. Especially because when you look at it, it's so fucking big. Everyone in there is kind of being quiet and just reading stuff on the wall and things like that. And it's a pretty moving moment, like somber moment.
Even though there are a lot of like pretty big lies about Lincoln's legacy.
Sure. But it's representing a moment that was bigger than Lincoln. I get it that it's a big ass Lincoln, but like he was just the figurehead at the time. It's like Teddy Roosevelt putting his face on Mount Rushmore.
I know Lincoln. I know Lincoln was tall. I think that might actually be a life-size rendering of Abe Lincoln.
Like, have it by the Washington Monument. Like, when I went to the Washington Monument, I just like scissored it and like took a picture like from my belly up with like, oh, look at my dick. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you did. I'm gonna find the pictures.
It wouldn't be the worst one of me out there.
And send them to somebody that would get really offended if you accidentally dropped a flag on the ground. Yeah, but that's the idiocracy we're in, and what certainly perpetuates that is the thing that should be all over the news, but isn't nearly as much because people don't care, because we live in an idiocracy, which is the government shutdown. One of my favorite events. I fucking love government shutdowns. They're amazing. There's nothing more entertaining. Government should be shrunk anyway. Not that government shutdowns actually do that. But, you know, just kind of the symbolism of it. I like it.
Oh, boy. That sure is a point of privilege.
What do you mean? Do not tell me that you feel sorry for all of the poor government employees that are getting laid off right now or getting put on pause right now. Because I will reach through this screen and choke you if you tell me that.
I mean, thousands of people are losing their jobs.
Okay, so you're talking about the firings that Trump wants to do.
That's pretty wild.
While this is
but it's also like, it's not illegal.
Which, by the way,
I was kind of trolling you. Like, yeah, because that's the hysteria around it, right? Like,
they all get back pay. They all get back
the
pay.
workers themselves get back pay. I'm talking about citizens who like have like a different type of reliability on the government, right? When it comes to
socialists. You mean socialists?
No, people who are on things like Medicaid.
Socialists.
Not necessarily. So no, there's so many. You know how many motherfuckers are on Medicaid who voted for Trump that voted for this shit?
I know.
And then all of a sudden now their shit might get fucked with, and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck? Goddamn Democrats!"
You are not wrong, my friend. You are not wrong, my friend. I heard Sagar.
Wild, but no, there's like the VA, I think, is like affected by it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have Bell look that up, but I did read in something and I didn't corroborate it, but the VA will in fact be affected by this. And if anything, the VA should be one of the few things that gets more money because it's taking care of the people that we sent somewhere else to get fucked up. And based on two recent events that happened in our country over the weekend, both done by veterans with PTSD causing devastation, the VA probably shouldn't be fucked with. I don't know.
Well, you know, I'll take the libertarian stance of the VA should be,
and the national parks are closed
and privately funded. I had to finish that statement.
Yeah, okay,
so
sure.
Like, you don't care about veterans.
Sure, no, that's great, but that's not the world we live in. And just because you go tell someone who can't go to the VA right now that, well, I'd prefer. They'd be like, I don't give a fuck what you prefer. If in the perfect world, I wouldn't mind that either. But right now, I can't get through that fucking door to get my meds. And now I hear the voices, and you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to get in my car and drive far, far away.
No, that's pretty much what would happen. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Cool. I love your idea, but I don't give a fuck in this moment. I can't get my fucking meds.
It's that meme of the stick men gathered around with their thumb up to the person that wants the thing.
Yeah, you're the thing. And they're like,
Yeah.
they're all like sitting there, like in line. You're just like, I think it should be privatized.
They're all sitting there. They're all sitting there like, I just need my fucking soul off, bro. Like, get out of here.
I want to be able to sleep without nightmares.
Dude, no, but I did see a lot of people talk, what about those poor government workers that are going to be out of work because they don't understand that they get back pay when the government reopens? Like, government workers, at least the ones in D.C., absolutely love government shutdowns because they get to take however much time off that the government shut down for. Then they get to go back to work, get their back pay, to the point where I heard Sagar and Jetty talking about this on Breaking Points. Was it? I don't know if it was today or yesterday, because, you know, he's familiar with the D.C. area. And apparently, when the government's shut down, all the bars in the area have shut down happy hours. All the government employees show up for the shutdown happy hours, get shit-faced, because they know they're good. Their jobs are coming back at some point. How long is it? Who knows? They get all their back pay.
Okay, so for the veterans, the things that will be impacted and not impacted, the healthcare itself will remain open. The VA benefits, disability, pensions, education, and housing will continue. Like monthly compensation, pension, dependency, and indemnity compensation, GI Bill payments, and similar benefits are expected to be processed and delivered on schedule. Burials and cemetery interments will continue. And Veterans Crisis Line and Primary Contact Centers remain operational. And the Board of Veterans Appeals continues deciding appeals. Now, what is affected is the Regional Benefits Office, like the public contact walk-in services, it will be closed. It seems like actually kind of a big deal, because if someone else, like if they're fine and then all of a sudden they start feeling weird, they need to go to the office, right? The GI Bill Education Hotline, GI Bill Call Center, the hotline calls will be closed. Transition assistance programs, career counseling, vocational rehabilitation will be suspended and paused.
Go find your own job.
Cemetery maintenance, permanent headstone placement, and grounds upkeep. These activities will stop. So all of our cemeteries that are there for people who died for this country,
They're gonna have dirty headstones.
yeah, well, they're not gonna be able to read the headstone. The grass is gonna grow. Thank God it's October. It's just gonna be covered in leaves. Pre-need burial applications, printing of new memorial certificates are paused. Public affairs, outreach, and social media, these external communications functions will likely be halted.
Cool.
So it's just, yeah, it's like not the, so whoever's already in the system and getting their shit taken care of, they'll be fine. But like someone who's like, oh, I need some help. And then like there's a helpline, but like if they want to go to the office because they can't get their fucking PIN number to work or whatever, because you know how efficient the government is.
Before you know it, Corey, they'll go from PIN number not working to homeless.
Just for number's sake, 3% of the workers in the VA, 3% of workers that work for them have been furloughed. That's 14,874 workers.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily worried about the workers as much as like the veterans themselves.
Well, I know.
Well,
I mean, if they're only doing that to 3% of workers, then it pretty much sounds like they're maintaining, because most
of the essential shit will stay open.
I mean, Department of Labor, 76% of workers furloughed. Same with Department of Housing and Urban Development, 70%. There's the EPA, 89% of their workers furloughed.
Nice.
Health and Human Services, 41%. So Department of Education, 87%.
Nice. It should be 100%.
Okay, so I'm okay with that. I think the state should have more control over their educational system instead of the federal government. Because why?
So
Federal government keeps
is?
pumping more money in the Department of Education, and education in America keeps getting worse.
Because it's all full. It's all full of administrative bloat.
We
You
had
know
the
what I think
best education system in the world, and it got shut down, and 87 of their employees were getting fired. I'd be pissed.
You know what the move should be here for Trump and the Republicans, but mostly for Trump, is let's just keep the government shut down, operating as it is while it's shut down for as long as we can, and just see what shit starts to hit the fan and what doesn't start to hit the fan, and then you know how much administrative bloat you don't need in a lot of all of these departments. Because if you get rid of whatever Pell said, 43% of whatever department, and it still operates just fine, well, you know that you didn't need 43% of that administrative bloat. Just throwing it out there. It's not going to happen that way, but that seems like a good move, doesn't it?
Sure
Let's
does.
just see. It's already garbage. Both of these parties, all they do is spend money anyway. All they do is hire more administrative bloat anyway. All they do is bring in more tax dollars to pay more administrators anyway. So let's just see. Let's just see what hits the fan. I dig it.
Again, tinfoil hat. Trump loves this shit because of the fact that he wants interest rates lowered anyways.
Mm-hmm. And he wants to fire a bunch of people. And in a lot of ways, I agree with him in that. Well, I mean, interest rates, we can have a debate about that. But firing people, hell yeah. Get that government bloat out of my pocket. But with regards to the shutdown, why is it so entertaining to me? So, the funniest part about this shutdown, in my view, is that it shut down in the first place because Democrats refused to pass the short-term funding bill that comes about, a few times a year, right? And this short-term funding bill is just an extension of Biden's budget. So now you have Democrats refusing to extend Biden's budget and Republicans complaining about the fact that Democrats are not extending Biden's budget. Corey, you can't make this shit up.
You really can't.
It's just so Republicans passed this resolution line by line as a continuation of Biden's last budget, and Democrats refused to pass that same budget, shutting down the government. So it's all theater. It's all theater, and it's some of the best theater out there. So now Democrats are bad for not being enough like Biden, and Republicans are bad because they're too much like Biden. So now you have.
So they're falsely claiming too that they want to fund healthcare for illegal immigrants. That's not true.
I just got an actual photo of this is for our viewers, not our listeners, obviously. But I just got an actual photo of Congress right now blaming who's at fault for the shutdown.
The question is, who's who? So now you have MAGA socialists. Yes, that's not an oxymoron. That's an actual thing.
Quick double
MAGA
tap said, "Hey guys, listen, the offer still stands. Just come back to the fold. Welcome British rule. We can get your government functioning again. Long time no see."
No, you got your own. You got your own problems, bub.
Yeah, to be fair, we wouldn't be able to do this show under British rule.
That's right. We'd be thrown in prison. So now you have MAGA socialists. Yes, that's not an oxymoron. That's a real thing. MAGA socialists crying foul because they are keeping Republicans from spending, and Democrats are crying foul for not spending. This is the world. This is the world that we live in. So the Democrats want their biggest point of contention here is that the Democrats want reversals to Trump's Medicaid cuts, and they want an extension of healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. What Republicans are saying in return is, well, you just want to give healthcare to illegals. Now, Section 71109 of this particular piece of legislation is entitled Alien Medicaid Eligibility. This is actually in there. thing is, if you read it, which I doubt anybody really does, it refers to those lawfully in the United States. Now, you can have a debate, and I would actually love to have this debate about whether or not non-citizens should be getting Medicaid benefits at all. But that's not what's getting thrown out there. You even have the vice president of the United States talking about how Democrats want to give health care to illegals. That's not exactly right. You want to have a debate about whether or not non-citizens should receive Medicaid benefits? I understand that's a reasonable debate.
And here's the thing that gets so pissy about that too, right?
But leave it there.
That's the law. Now, I bet you a 5-minute search on the internet through Google, DuckDuckGo, ChatGPT, Grok, whatever, you could probably find an instance of an illegal collecting federal Social Security money.
Sure, but that would
We're
be
not
fraud.
talking about state benefits. We're not talking about state benefits. We're talking because like some states are offering benefits. Some states are letting them vote in local elections. This is about the federal government doing federal government things. This is the federal government that is shut down. All of those people, when they try to use those as examples as a gotcha, it's not really a gotcha. That's your state doing that shit. It's a lot easier to overturn shit like that in a state than it is a federal government because of federal bloat. But it's still illegal. And these people will still get in trouble for that if they get busted for it. And they can be prosecuted for it. But like that right there, like that, it's so easy to say that too. And like that's where like a bigger part of this disconnect is because Democrats will say that's just not happening. And it's like you could probably find an example of it happening.
Where it is happening. So Double Tap asked it, at what point of injury in a car accident do you don't treat someone? Surely that's a little cutthroat. No. So what you're talking about is an insurance issue. So Medicaid.
Not even necessarily an insurance issue. In America, regardless if you're an illegal or not, it is the law that emergency rooms have to treat you.
Who's going to pay for it is the question.
It's them. They're going to get a big fucking bill if you don't have insurance at a privatized hospital.
Right. And
you can't claim bankruptcy on medical. Wait, you can on medical bills. You can't on. No. What is it? Which one is it? Is it medical bills or student loans? This is
student
probably sounding so.
No, student loans. Student loans are forever.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Probably sounds so bizarre. A quick double tap. He's probably like, "What the fuck type of dystopian country do you live in?"
Well, welcome to the world of private health insurance. Yeah. Well, shit. Now I lost my spot in my notes here.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, so I went over the section 71109 of the alien Medicaid eligibility. So so this is why it's so entertaining to me. When we sit here on this show and we tell you that both of these parties are exactly the same on anything meaningful, this is exactly what we mean. And everything that they argue about is always political theater, because this entire shutdown is each party being flipped upside down. You have Republicans trying to pass a Biden budget, and you have Democrats trying to getting the government shut down and not wanting to pass a Biden budget.
Why is it a Biden budget? Because it's not a new budget. It's just a continued resolution.
Correct.
It's to just extend things as is down the road. So they can try to talk about it and make a new budget. They haven't even made a new budget. This is just to keep the old one going.
It's just continuing to spend. They really should just call this the kick the can down the road resolution was what they should call it from now on. Because now you just have
DTR bill. I don't know.
With these government shutdowns, which we actually haven't had one in a minute.
I think the last one wasn't under Trump. I think they averted it with Biden.
Yeah, so because I don't remember exactly, but it's been a little while. But because you have
Trump holds the record, by the way.
For what?
The longest shutdown.
Good for him.
35 days.
He likes them. because this is the ultimate blame fest. That's what makes this so fucking funny. The party in power blames the minority party for holding it hostage, usually over one divisive issue filled with a ton of hyperbole, which is illegal immigrants getting Medicaid in this case. And the minority party sits back and goes, yeah, but you hold all the power. We're just a little guy trying to save all the other little people from you power-hungry monsters. And you have people in the Trump administration, namely J.D. Vance, going, you don't shut the government down over politics, which is the exact same fucking thing that Democrats were saying when we almost had a shutdown under Biden. It's the same shit over and over and over again, and it's the same script for both parties. They're exactly the same. Now, one thing I do love is you have Senator Rick Scott pushing legislation to get rid of paychecks for Congress during a shutdown. I would absolutely support that bill. The problem is it would probably end up the same as all of the other government jobs where they would just receive their back pay once the government reopened.
Quick double tap said, you get to make all the money, then spend it on healthcare and student loans. Makes sense, but surely the Dems don't have any weapons for a year to do anything, right? The government's budget has always been to kick the can down the road, though, right? And yes, and they do have weapons. This is one of them. Just shutting down the government.
You need 60 votes in the Senate to pass a bill, to pass a financial bill. And
right. 60 out of 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be a super majority. And even if all the, like, there's still a Republican who's not voting for it either, and that's old Rand Paul.
Bell, you got that Maxine Waters video? She totally fucked this up, man. This woman is an absolute goddamn dolt. Because this reporter comes up. I don't know who this woman is. Probably some independent, similar to kind of what we do. She doesn't ask a very difficult question, but you can tell she's trying to get Maxine Waters to say something that is going to get her in trouble. And Maxine Waters had an out with this question, and it was simply by saying one word. And the one word would have been no. But what does she do? Again, these government shutdowns are
she didn't want to speak Spanish, Dan, in these turbulent times.
They're all performative. They're all performative. She tried to put on a little performance to make it seem like they're the good guys and Republicans are the bad guys when they're all fucking evil and horrible human beings. Go ahead and roll it, Bell. This is
so she pulls a Trump.
Oh my God, she's a moron.
Do Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, Americans...
Excuse me. Stop it right there.
Excuse me.
Prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open, and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
Everybody, the
we
whole
want
world.
To save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die, but having the help of their government.
So you're good with the government shutdown, even if it means giving health care to people who aren't American citizens?
Well, that's what you're pushing on. What you're trying to do is you're standing here and you're trying to make me say that somehow we're going to put non-citizens over Americans. Quit it.
Smart.
Stop it. This is the kind of journalism we don't need.
No,
you're divisive. No, you're not.
Yeah, no,
You're being divisive. No, please. You don't need to ask that question. You're just trying to get controversy here. You're not going to get it from me. We want to save health care for all people. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
She was smart enough.
All senior citizens should have life alert.
She was smart enough to recognize the loaded question, but not quick enough to have a good response, then to act like Trump.
Are Democrats pushing to give health care to illegal aliens? No.
Yeah, that's all you had to say was
that's
no,
all you had to do
question.
was say no. No. But instead she had to, and then they always do this performative thing where they're like, we're trying to keep people from dying. We'll have no problem sending your sons and daughters off to the next war when we have a chance to grasp at more power. We'll have absolutely no problem doing that.
War.
But man, we're just trying to save people's lives. I don't know. I can't. I just can't. She is such a dolt, dude. She's just. And
I think, well, the thing is you just have a bunch of old heads who grew up in politics or being like in political positions, I should say, that lived it in a bubble where everything was sanitized. They essentially personally knew all of the fucking news anchors and journalists that were coming to them to interview them, to now it's just unfettered and they just can't grasp it. Another perfect example is Hakeem Jeffries with the sombrero and mustache.
This is what that reporter should have said to Maxine.
You take forever to say nothing.
Jesus Christ.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I agree, Donald. I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you on that one. It's just all theater. It's hilarious. And again, we have to keep from crying. These are our leaders. That Maxine Waters little, I guess if you want to call it an interview, that little Maxine Waters diatribe of wanting to save lives is the exact example of how unbelievably unimpressive all of our leaders are. Just absolutely midwit. I don't even want to call them midwits. They're not smart enough to be midwits. They're fucking morons.
Yeah. They're in a bubble. Just a straight up bubble. It's absolutely insane.
They're all old as fuck. In fact, we have actual audio of what happened.
There are so many things that there is a middle of the road thing, right? Like if you're a legal citizen here and you have a job and you're paying taxes, but you're still struggling, yes, you can apply for some benefits. Sure. But you're not going to get any sort of cut to the front of the line or anything. You wait in line with everyone else who's applied. Like that, I feel like that's such a sensible approach, but instead, the Republicans they just make shit up and go there trying to give it to the illegals. And then the Democrats, instead of saying something sensible like that, they go, no, we want it for everybody. What? Everybody?
I guess let's just start giving healthcare across the world.
Tab said he's about to be right over. Oh, not that one. He said, cool, be right over. Everyone's going to die at some point. I don't know.
We have actual audio. That reporter was very nice to cut this out of her video, but we have actual audio of Maxine Waters after she walked away and tried to get down the steps.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, and she farted. little peekaboo poop when she got to the bottom of the steps. You want me to add the last thing to the idiocracy that we live in? The wonderful Luke Wilson documentary, Idiocracy. Terry Crews also fantastic job in that
documentary fast.
This war between Stephen Miller and Gavin Newsom, it's just the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever seen. No, it's not. The shutdown is. I just keep saying that because they're all equally stupid. So the Newsom campaign was on Twitter calling Miller a fascist. And how did Stephen Miller and his supporters respond to that? That's an incitement of violence. I don't know why I just said that like Hank Hill a little bit. But wasn't Stephen Miller and like his types of people, the MAGA crowd, just a couple of years ago saying that words are not violence, that words are never violence? Remember a couple weeks ago I was talking about how the right wing has kind of gone peak woke at this point? Here we are again. So they keep bringing up this term or this phrase called stochastic terrorism. You know what this means?
Yes, actually.
So stochastic terrorism, I'm going to butcher the definition, but it was something that the Soviets used to foment hatred against anybody that was essentially against the regime, correct? And incite violence using bad propaganda. Am I close? I probably just butchered that.
Stochastic means random but statistically predictable. In this case, it means you can't predict who will commit violence or when, but you'd expect that violence is more likely overall when inflammatory rhetoric is used. And then terrorism refers to violence intended to instill fear or achieve political social goals.
But here's what you need to know. All propaganda terms.
Yeah,
so
100%.
This is what I implore everyone in the world to do this. Start paying attention to these terms that just pop up out of nowhere, right? Narco-terrorism, terrorism in general, stochastic terrorism. These are all propaganda terms. And how do you know they're propaganda terms? Because they're terms that you cannot objectively define, but are all over the place.
Yeah,
being used in a negative way.
And being used to trigger an emotion. If there's all of a sudden something that you have an opinion on that you didn't give two shits about a week ago until everybody started talking about it, and then you just had to form this quick opinion on something, that might be a little manufactured. Like, remember, like right now, vaccines. The fuck? Don't give a shit about vaccines. And now all of a sudden, everyone has an opinion on vaccines, and they're mad at you if you don't have the right opinion. I think that's actually Jimmy Dore that said that. But yeah, things like that. All of a sudden, everyone just, it's just, watch for that shit. It's loaded terms, media bias, inflammatory terms.
Fascist is another one of those right now. Like, fascist has simply just become a propaganda term because you can't define it. I mean, you can define it. It has a definition, but it's not being used underneath that definition.
Yeah, it's very subjective when it's used by either side, which gives me a little bit of reprieve. And I've said it on the show before, but like, no one in America really knows what fascism is. They just all know they hate it.
Yeah, right. And everybody, and the people that they don't like are one of those. Like, that's honestly, that's just become the definition of fascism in the United States now. It's just a political, you call somebody a fascist that's a political figure or has a political opinion that is different than yours. You're just a fascist.
Racism 2.0.
Racism. That's honestly, dude, racist. That's become another propaganda term. That's complete. That word's completely lost its meaning.
No. Those, like, no, words like hate speech.
Propaganda term.
That's a good one, right? Hate speech. Hate speech is a great propaganda term to curtail and curb people's thoughts and opinions.
Just ask Pam Bondi.
Yeah, the old Republican. She's right now, like, dude, and then you run into Republicans and they say the same thing you heard Democrats say 4 years ago. Well, that's not what she really meant.
Yeah, right. It's such a joke.
It's like, wait. Did she walk it back then, or did she walk it back after everyone, like, there was an outcry?
Yeah. But these
I bet you could look it up in history. I bet you Hitler walked a few things back in the beginning before he had total control.
But I'm going to tell you right now, the MAGA movement is the movement of free speech and freedom, Corey.
No, it's just
dare think otherwise.
It's just for speech and freedom that they like.
Yeah, because that's how we are. We don't actually care about free speech here. Even though it's the most important thing in our fucking Constitution, nobody actually cares about it.
Followed by guns, and then no soldiers can stay in my house. None. I don't want soldiers in my house. It's like, all right, dude.
Well, no, it doesn't say that. It says no soldiers can stay at your house in times of peace, which, by the way, we haven't had in 60 years.
Yeah, quick double tap said, so if I were to say, in my opinion, these people should have acts of violence against them, is not a call for violence, but a statement where it can be inferred, but not the definition. Essentially, yeah. In the idea of you just saying that, like when you're like, boy, Josh, hope nothing good comes their way. They're a real asshole.
And by the way, that statement would be protected under our First Amendment.
100%, because
it should be.
If a crime isn't immediately committed because of those words, then those words would be protected.
Even that is vague.
Look at this guy. From not even American, he kind of understands free speech a little bit better than a lot of Americans do, except for the first part. So free speech doesn't allow you to shout fire in a crowded theater.
It actually does.
It does, unless it infers to the second part that you said, where free speech is not the ability to say attack X, Y, and Z persons. This is a call to action, so therefore not free speech. The call to action part is the part, right? When words become actionable and they incite a riot, then yes, it is. It's a problem. But you're not getting in trouble for your speech. You're getting in trouble for inciting a riot. Because you could say it, just like if I were in a crowded theater and I yelled fire and everyone just said, "Sit down, jackass."
Mm-hmm.
That would be it.
Now
if some 6-year-old gets trampled as everyone's trying to leave,
then you get charged.
Or I might get asked to leave, right?
You might get asked to leave.
Go be like, "Hey, there's an idiot in here yelling fire," and they go, "Okay, point him out." And then they ask me to leave their establishment. I'm still not. I'm being asked to leave just because I'm not welcome there anymore. My words had consequences, but you know how legal jargon is, right? Like it's not the words; it's the words became actionable.
This was decided by our Supreme Court many, many moons ago. It is perfectly legal to yell fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah, unless you incite a riot.
Thanks, Ku Klux Klan.
They did something right.
But you could also incite a riot by doing an action like burning a flag in a movie or like in a not necessarily a movie theater, but like in a park, right?
You're probably gonna get charged with arson for that. You're probably gonna get charged with arson if you do it inside a theater.
But yeah, it's when the words become,
dude, and even that's vague. There's very
perfect,
different.
Like in a what if scenario, when Trump said we're gonna go down to the Capitol, we're gonna fight like hell and this and that. If all those people didn't fucking do that, it would have just been another crazy speech that Trump gave, or one of the crazy speeches that a Democrat said that we're going to fight tooth and nail for the democracy of this country, because you could find Democrat after Democrat after Democrat saying the same shit. It's just the people that day that were supporting Trump were drinking the Kool-Aid and they fucking made his words actionable.
So
and it's on them just as much as it was on Trump. Maybe he should have been.
There's even some back and forth as to even the quote unquote actionability of said words, right? Because this has been brought to the Supreme Court many times in various different cases, because there is an argument that if I say, if Corey and I are standing next to each other and there's somebody over there that I don't like, Corey's got a gun, and I say, "Hey Corey, shoot that guy." Corey still has the choice not to shoot that guy. So are my words actionable at that point?
If I don't shoot him, no.
But if you do,
but if I say, "Oh yes, sir," right away.
It reminds me of the cases with like the high school kids that have been going on the past couple of years, where, I mean, like, how many kids do you think tell each other to go kill themselves? A lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when one of them actually goes and does it, then the person who tells them to do it is getting charged.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be the case. You don't have to do it. Now, if I hold a gun to Corey's head because he's got a gun and I say, "Hey, go shoot that guy," and he does it because he doesn't want to get shot, now we're having a different conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't really plan on this becoming a First Amendment episode, but here we are. Shall we move on to our favorite nation, Corey? And they say that in jest.
You mean America, brother? Hell yeah.
Well, these two kind of go hand in hand. Israel. So yeah, basically it's the same thing. So the another global flotilla was intercepted by Israeli forces close to the Gaza Strip using water cannons, about 40 vessels. And of course, Greta Thunberg had to get herself another little attention grab. during this.
See, I don't know, man. I feel like she's more sincere than a lot of them. Like,
I think she's very sincere, and I think she practices what she preaches, but it's still a little performative. Let's be honest. Come on.
but is that her fault, or is that the rest of the world's fault by picking up on this girl and being like, oh, check this out? Because
I said that a long time ago.
Yeah, when she first started, all she was doing was just sitting on a sidewalk with a sign. Everyone else propped her up and started throwing money at her and told her to do this, do that, dance.
Yep. No,
But
I get it.
Like, I mean, she's on a way more righteous path right now, just trying to bring food to starving people in Gaza.
Yeah, but I can't help but call out the hypocrisy. Because it's like, hey, Greta, aren't running these boats back and forth across the ocean bad for the climate? Like, she doesn't care about the climate anymore. Like, that's not her thing anymore.
Because that was just, I mean, it's kind of like a thing, right? But
now
like,
she's on to the next thing.
She probably feels like she can make more of an impact if she just tries to stop starving kids today.
And if the Gaza situation is solved, which I don't think it will be, maybe in our lifetime.
Go back to climate change.
To be honest, yeah, well, yeah, she'll find the next thing.
Right.
I
don't know. I mean, it's like if I had cancer and I'm getting treated for cancer and then I break my arm, it's like I'm still thinking about the cancer, but I'm more worried about the arm right now.
Okay, I did not mean for this.
When my arm heals, it's like, all right, back to radiation.
I did not mean for this to be a shit on Greta Thunberg segment. That wasn't where this was supposed to go. But to be fair, I'm the one that made the comment.
Yeah. Wow, asshole.
At the end of the day, what she's doing is good. Okay, let's just say that. I have my issues with her methods, but what she's doing 100%. Is good. So, this flotilla was intercepted by the Israelis using water cannons. And apparently there was a warning to this flotilla that said something to the effect of, you know, you're entering a blockade zone. I'm butchering what was actually said, but you're entering a blockade zone. If you're trying to bring aid to the Gaza Strip, please take the aid to Israel, where it will be inspected and then sent to the Gaza Strip. And the first thing I could think of was, imagine we go back to 1940, right? Since the Zionists always like to invoke World War II, I'll do the same. Imagine we go back to 1940 and you're trying to, me, Corey, and Bell, we go back in time. We know what's going on. And there's this really poor Polish town. And we know they're all starving. We're just trying to bring them some food. And you have Nazis coming over a megaphone saying, please bring the food to Berlin, where it will be inspected first and then sent to Poland. Imagine that scenario.
Like, all right, let me just go an extra 1,000 miles.
It's just, I mean, you get what I'm saying, though. Let's turn over the food and the aid to the enemy, or at least to the enemy of the people that you're trying to feed.
Right.
And let them inspect it first, just to make sure everything's on the up and up before we send it over to the people that we're trying to feed. You understand, you understand how ridiculous that is?
It is pretty wild how, like, in today's time, like, an active war zone, and you think you can just goose step in there with some food to feed some people, and then
it's pretty funny.
And then everyone like daring the enemy to do something. Like, we wouldn't have done this shit in 1940 because we would have walked in and they would have just been pop, pop, pop.
You're right,
and then that would have been it. Like, we'd have been dead.
Doesn't that kind of speak to the? Doesn't that kind of speak a little bit though to the performative nature of the flotilla? Like, they know the world's watching, and Israel knows the world's watching, so they're not going to do anything too crazy. They're just going to shoot them with water cannons, big ass water guns,
just blast them with giant fucking squirt guns,
and arrest them and send them back.
Better than some laser tag, I guess, if you know what I mean. Call out to MTG. Yeah,
this came at a really bad time too. What the low-key baddie MTG?
Why do you say that?
Oh, well, I just mean this whole thing came at a really bad time for BB Netanyahu, because BB Netanyahu is grasping at straws to reverse the PR nightmare, the global PR nightmare that his country is in right now. And this comes on the heels of BB's visit to the UN and visit to New York overall. And there is an unbelievably desperate attempt to flip the narrative on the Israeli war in Gaza right now. Well, and how do I know this? This motherfucker got together with some influencers. Bell's got the video. We'll show it to you. With some influencers to discuss how we can essentially, or how they can essentially propagandize evangelical Christians to continue their support for Israel. Now, this obviously comes on the heels of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. There's been some speculation that Charlie was beginning to kind of go away from the official pro-Israel narrative. Not a lot of proof of it, but there's definitely some breadcrumbs there to suggest that may be the case.
Candace Owens is all over it.
Candace Owens. Oh, yes. Candace Owens. By the way, Candace Owens is going to solve Charlie Kirk's murder. I don't know if you guys knew that. I want to like her so much. And then
her podcast has turned into a murder mystery.
Right. And she was really obsessed with Macron's allegedly male husband, for a long time.
That's why I think
why are you so obsessed with this?
That's why I think the French might have did it. Throw her off the scent.
That's an interesting theory.
That's
all right, go ahead.
Hat theory. I'm not.
Bell, go ahead and roll BB. Go ahead and roll BB talking to his, by the way, paid influencers.
So something I would like to raise, which was actually my first published paper, was how you and the Likud party are cut from the same ideological cloth as Trump and the GOP in America. And so specifically with Charlie Kirk's assassination, who was a big mentor of mine in the space, evangelicals, from all my research, evangelicals are the reason that Israel has been supported in public sphere outside of just Jews. So with Charlie's assassination and with the kind of trajectory that we see with Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, I guess I'm curious about what's another game plan if we lose evangelical support for the state of Israel. What's our backup plan to be strong, outside of the diaspora?
It's a big word like diaspora.
Influencers. Okay. You said you talked about the woke right, and you said I call it the woke Reich.
How funny are you, BB?
People, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're movies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay, and you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. That's very good. And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy.
Guy, a fucking ninth grade teacher, class.
Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot to go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
Now, I want you to imagine any other foreign leader coming to the United States or any country and meeting with media personalities to discuss a game plan on how to propagandize that country's people. Imagine that being acceptable if it were any other foreign leader. Imagine if Mohammed bin Salman, another United States ally, by the way, talking to American influencers on how we can get Americans to support the Sunni cause on American soil.
Well, so what they're
How do you
doing
think
is
that would go?
they're just buying everything.
It's unbelievable that this is allowed to take place. It's absurd. Now, again, we're a First Amendment country. It's free speech. I get it. But I'm talking about the reaction to this. How many Americans would jump on Twitter and see Mohammed bin Salman talking to Americans in New York about how to advance the Sunni cause, whatever that may be, and not absolutely fucking riot over it?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, dude.
But BB's allowed to do it.
For context, what this whole thing is, this whole campaign with him and his influencers spending like, I think it's like $900,000 or something like that, is called the Esther Project. And they did have to register under FARA, which is the Foreign Agents Registration Act. But
Good.
we're just...
Wow, that's a good step in the right direction, I guess.
Sure. But yeah, they are allowed to just pay these people to propagandize for them.
You can just shut up, baby, because you hate America and you love abortion.
Now, does this go back to the First Amendment question of like how First Amendment also protects speech you don't like?
Mm-hmm. I don't have any problem because the First Amendment,
like, it's allowed.
It
it's
doesn't.
Like, oh my
but
god!
I am allowed to sit here and tell you that what BB Netanyahu said is fucking ridiculous, and so should everybody else.
And it
That's my
wouldn't be
opinion.
allowed by any other country.
You don't think BB knows that? He knows that.
I don't see our government having any reason to allow the UK, for example, to spend a bunch of money on influencers in America to spread propaganda about...
Say nice things about the king.
Yeah, say nice things about the king. You know, like, we
already do that anyway.
Do we?
Americans are weirdly obsessed with the royals, dude. I don't understand it. It's weird. I don't get it. Bell, you got that other video? So Middle East
and their jeans.
Middle East Eye.
Remember, only 3% of Americans are the ones who started the revolution. There was 97% of people who still love the crown, and a lot of these people are the ancestors of that 97%. My ancestors are Irish. They don't like the British either.
Mine too. I think I'm a little bit more of a mutt than you, but mine as well.
Yeah.
So Middle East Eye,
come out and fight me like a man.
Middle East Eye put out a TikTok breaking down the actual influencers that were in this meeting with BB Netanyahu. And if you don't think if you've listened this far into the show,
at this point, I think that quick double tap is King George himself.
Come back from the grave.
Yeah, he said, now's the time. Come back to the fold. Like, come on back. I just picture King George in the Hamilton fucking play. You'll be back. Wait and see.
So this is Middle East Eye breaking down these influencers, and if you've listened in this far and you still don't believe us that these are propaganda arms of the state of Israel legally operating in the United States to propagandize you for a foreign country, here we go. Go ahead and roll it, Bill.
Meet some of the US influencers Netanyahu chose to meet with at Israel's Consulate General in New York, tasked with taking over TikTok and X in an attempt to shore up international support for Israel during the genocide in Gaza. First up, we have his own son, Netanyahu. His Instagram bio reads, "From the river to the sea, this flag, the Israeli flag, is all you'll see." On social media, he has denied the genocide in Gaza and blamed images showing malnutrition on genetic issues, attributing them to Palestinian incest.
I just want to remind that 45% of the marriages in Gaza are between first cousins, so there is some genetic problems there. And they presented it like he's suffering from starvation.
Next is,
in other words, they're mongrels, essentially.
Influencer. At the roundtable with Netanyahu, she said,
"I stick my neck out there and say the harsh truth that people don't often want to hear."
Back in February, she shared a video of Rabbi Meir Kahane, a figure who was even deemed extremist by Israel itself, once again calling it the truth and saying that the only language Arabs understand is force and fear. And then there's Emily Austin, another Zionist influencer. She's publicly denied cases of Palestinian suffering, accused Palestinian journalists of being terrorists, and yet was still allowed to report at the FIFA Club World Cup. In one video, she said this about being pro-Palestine.
"Imagine supporting people who start wars just to lose the wars so they can cry about it and then try it all again."
She was also invited by Trump to view the so-called Epstein files, which of course contained only flight logs and contact lists already public for years. Another influencer, that opinionated girl, formerly that
She wasn't the only one.
Following her meeting with Netanyahu,
AIPAC is not an Israeli organization. It has no ties whatsoever to the government of Israel.
So this is the same AIPAC that coordinates directly with
So
Israeli
pause that real
officials,
quick.
lobbies for pro-Israel policy, and was
Because
set up.
that girl used to like actually spit some real shit on TikTok.
But probably
And-
before October 7th, right?
Yeah, and then it looks like she got bought and paid for. Like she seemed very sensible. But
She
now-
probably is about a lot of other things, kind of similar to how I feel about Barry Weiss.
Yeah.
When Barry Weiss isn't talking about Israel, she's a fantastic journalist. She really is. But she just becomes this normie, simpleton, useful idiot when she starts talking about Israel. Go ahead, Belle.
After its predecessor was legally required to register as a foreign agent. The group has also funded hundreds of congressional trips to Israel over the last decade. Then there's Deborah Leah Schwartzman, a Trump supporter and pro-Israel influencer. She called Netanyahu a personal hero and one of the greatest politicians of all time, describing meeting him as the honor of her life. Previously, she posted that people supporting Palestine should rot in hell.
The people that are sympathizing with Palestine right now literally rot in hell.
And then there's Shay Sabo.
That sounded like
proudest
stochastic
Israeli
terrorism.
American Ever meet.
Sure did.
She says her compassion for Palestinians is why she does not support recognizing a Palestinian state while continuing to promote pro-Israel content online.
I care about their future so much that I refuse to endorse a plan that traps them under corrupt and extremist ideology and leadership.
It's certainly not the first time Israel has enlisted US
Bombing their
influences
asses off
to
is so
try
much
and
better.
counter the facts. In August, Israel allowed a select number of American and Israeli influencers access to Gaza in an attempt to counter major news organizations around the world and what they'd been reporting about the deadly nature of aid distribution in Gaza. And one such influencer was self-proclaimed Zionist Xavier DeRusso, who proudly said,
"If I were Israel, I wouldn't even provide matching socks to Gaza."
And of course, these individuals were the exception to Israel's total ban on international journalists from entering and reporting in Gaza. Netanyahu's interest in TikTok also appears to come at the same time as reports that the Trump administration is finalizing a deal with Beijing to move the app's US operations from Chinese to American control. And so, from Yair Netanyahu to Lizzie Sabetsky, Emily Austin to Deborah Leah, these influencers are no longer just spreading Zionist ideology. They are part of a coordinated effort to try and normalize and obscure the ongoing genocide in Gaza.
Wasn't that just lovely? They sound like just crackerjack people. People I want to be around. That Xavier guy's copying Kyle Kalinske, by the way, with that bleached hair. I think it actually looks better on Kyle. Never thought I'd say that.
Tab said his father was there from 46 to 47. He fought the Stern Gang and the Haganah. He said there are only two solutions to the Israel-Palestine conflict, either a two-state or a complete destruction of one or the other. He had awfully good foresight, because a short 80 years later, here we are, and it's the same fucking argument happening.
And the West Bank is next. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to add on that, other than,
I mean, the good thing is this came out early, so I feel like on a lot of people this will backfire, because now that they see that these people are just bought and paid for, they're gonna lose all credibility, right? Yeah, at least that's what you hope for,
dude. It's tough to say, right? Because we're at a spot now where, actually, no, you know what? I think you're right, because the PR battle that Israel is fighting right now, they are losing so badly. They are losing so badly, which is why they're doing this. How many more minds is this going to change? I don't know, but what it does is it puts the propaganda arm of the Israeli government openly operating here in the United States.
Well, because this is why it sucks.
Out in the open.
This is why it sucks. Yeah, so the propaganda is out in the open, right? But if what they're doing behind the scenes on this is also just completely saturating the SEOs, saturating the AdWords. So when you even search up Israel Gaza, your Google search or whatever search will be manipulated to show their content first.
And to add to that, there's the scary possibility of I say scary just in that, it's going to not shut down free speech in a legal way, but shut down free speech in a algorithmic way.
It's going to cloud up all it's going to, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be ugly. It's not going to be good, but
time to go back to Red Note.
No, again,
the Chinese TikTok, the real Chinese TikTok.
Yeah. Right. More and more people are recognizing this. More and more people see what's going on. I mean, yeah, the normie people who go out and fill a fucking ballot out with straight Republican or straight Democratic ticket are not paying attention to this shit for the most part. But everybody else is. More and more people are seeing what's going on here. And what's great about the Israel conflict, if you're going to take something good out of it, it really is there's mostly bipartisan support for not helping Israel do this anymore. When you're talking about people that are outside of, like I said, the normie Republican, normie Democrat. And I think BB has realized he's completely lost the left. The left is long gone. He thinks he's still got a small chance with people on the right. But there are just
the only right he has on the right. The right, I wish we could probably look these numbers up, but the demographics of support for Israel is probably 46 and above, or 55 and above. Mm-hmm. Young right-wing people, they were listening to Charlie Kirk. They're listening to and unfortunately now they're gonna be listening to Nick Fuentes and Milo. But there isn't nearly enough support for Israel with the young right in America.
Well, if you want to say something good, I mean, moving on to Nick Fuentes,
there's nothing good about that.
He's anti-Israel. He's anti-Israel. Did you hear him? Did you listen to
Nick
Fuentes?
That's his bait.
Did you listen to Nick on with Glenn Greenwald?
No. He is literally going to tone down his rhetoric and get everyone on board. Let
me say this. I think you should. I think you should listen to that episode.
I will, but I know who Nick Fuentes is. I'm still going to think he's a racist piece of shit. And that's the shitty part. That's the shitty fucking part. He's an actual racist, and I can't say that without people rolling their eyes because the word racist has been so goddamn watered down in this country.
And it's at the point now where it's you get into the semantics of is Nick Fuentes a racist or is he a segregationist, and at what point do those two things intersect? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, segregation is fueled by racism. And it just goes down to that separate but
Not
equal
always.
shit.
Not always, because there's two different types of segregation. There's state mandated segregation, which is bad, and then there's voluntary segregation, which we see all the time.
Well, that's fine. I'm okay with voluntary segregation. I'm okay with people from another country being comfortable and moving into an area where there's a lot of like-minded and people that look similar to them and speak the language. You don't have to drive. You don't have to go anywhere further than 5 minutes from my house in Sterling Heights, or just anywhere in Macomb County in Michigan. And we have the largest Middle East fucking population outside of the Middle East.
Per capita.
It's per capita. And that's fine. You know, you go down there, you get some shawarma, you know, but that's not the state deciding that they have to stay there. That was on their own free will.
Right. I'm
okay with
saying.
that. And then you have Detroit, which is the blackest city per capita. You know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of. Actually, I
think Gary, Indiana is still per capita the most densely black city. Yeah. Per capita. I could be, at least that was the case not that long ago, census wise.
Huh, maybe have Val look that up. But yeah, if it's not the state doing it, it's like, I understand that. I understand, you know, like, you're more comfortable around people who understand you.
South Fulton, Georgia.
South Fulton, Georgia is now the most black per capita.
Over 93%.
Wow.
No, seriously. Listen to Glenn.
Or maybe they say Detroit is the largest city being black per capita or something. They have some sort of flex like that.
Seriously, listen to Glenn Greenwald talk to Nick, because you like Glenn Greenwald. So do I.
Yeah.
And he challenges Nick on all of the things that he should challenge his Nick Fuentes on. But like, I'm not going to listen to Nick Fuentes' show. You're not going to listen to Nick Fuentes' show. When I listened, but I think it's important to understand what Nick Fuentes actually believes, because we've made that mistake in the past of not truly understanding people. Like, what are the most the episodes of like Joe Rogan that I listen to the most are people that I can't stand, because I know Joe's going to sit there and talk to that person for 3 hours and, for the most part, not let them get away with bullshit. Glenn does the same thing. Glenn challenges him pretty hard. I think you'll actually find it really interesting.
Quick double tap said Nick Fuentes is the definition of a slimy toady shitheel. He is a xenophobic racist sack of doo-doo that advocates the most horrific statements against women and minorities. And you're 100% right. I've seen.
Wait, there's one person worse.
Who's that?
You know who it is. Top G. Andrew Tate.
Oh, Andrew Tate. God damn it, him too. Yeah, he's another one. But it's like, but I still want to know what's going on inside their head. So I have that information when someone flies off the handle with that outlandish shit. I've been able to sit there and like think about it and digest it to be able to have a coherent response to it and not let my emotions go and immediately say, oh, well, he's a racist, because of the fact that we go back to that word, even the word xenophobic, you know, misogynist. All of these words in our society have been so watered down that they have no meaning, that they're not like a shutdown word anymore. It makes people roll their eyes, because those words get hurled around like snowballs on a playground in the wintertime.
Which brings me back to my point.
But like, if I can listen to like his points and get past the racism and misogyny and like his reasoning for it, and I can hear that, I can formulate an argument against that to when someone tries to bring up that part. I don't shut the conversation down by just calling them a racist and making them not want to express it. I can sit there and have a conversation with them about about the ideas and why they suck, instead of making the person feel like I'm attacking them by extension by attacking Nick Fuentes.
That's
like, I probably will listen to it.
Right. And that's the exact reason why I think it's important even to listen to these people that we think are piles of shit, because I think that's the only way you bring back the meaning of these words, is to actually understand what they're saying outside of like a short TikTok clip or outside of a short YouTube clip. Like you have to actually be able to engage with their arguments, and if they're that bad, and most of Nick Fuentes' opinions are that bad, they should be really easy to shut down. Outside of, as you said, Corey, just being like, "Oh, you're just a racist." All right, well, explain why he's a racist. Explain what's wrong with his argument. Don't just call him a racist and walk out the door, because if you do that, to your point, Corey, that's when people that are fans of Nick Fuentes are going to just roll their eyes at you.
Yeah, because Nick Fuentes is telling them this is what they're going to call you.
Correct. So you actually have to be able to engage.
Throw them off when you're like, no, I don't think it's racist. I just think the idea is this, this, and this, and you counter, and then you just give them evidence to support your reasoning, and then like you're making them think.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah,
you have to actually engage with the argument, because it's like the thing that people do to Dave Smith on Twitter. Like they just call him a Jew hater, even though he's a Jew. It's all like Twitter's all like ad hominem attacks. Like they're like, if somebody heard an opinion from us that they didn't like, they would just call us idiots. Okay, well, what makes us an idiot? Like, what's wrong with what we just said? Tell us why we're wrong. You know, it's the Charlie Kirk thing. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess Crowder's back on. No, Charlie Kirk wasn't prove me wrong.
Charlie Kirk was prove me wrong. Steven Crowder was change my mind.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Nope, you're right. Yeah, Charlie. Yeah. But Charlie Kirk actually loved his wife, and he like really adored her. And then Steven Crowder would like verbally abuse his pregnant wife.
I shouldn't say that. Hold on. I totally
didn't beat the shit out of her.
I know. I totally
verbally abused
Crowder. Yes, he verbally abused her. I apologize. I should not have said that. That was an incorrect statement by me. I retract that statement. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get sued by Steven Crowder.
Yeah, we're already in a cup. We already have our hands in a couple other cookie jars.
Right? Yeah. For the record, Steven Crowder is not accused of beating the shit out of his wife. I retract that statement. He just seems like he would. I think I'm allowed to say that.
For the record, Steven Crowder did not physically abuse his wife, but I would not be surprised if TMZ came out with a headline tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Did you like Pete Hegseth's surprise mystery military meeting that basically could have just been an email? The multi-million-dollar call of generals back to the United States, which, by the way, I saw a great tweet. Right. I saw a great tweet earlier that said maybe it's a really bad idea for security reasons to gather all of your military generals in one place and tell the whole world about it. It's probably not great for national security.
Yeah, it's probably not.
He basically just said that you can't have a beard or be fat in the military anymore, and he felt like he needed to get everybody in an auditorium and tell them that. Like, it could have been done in an email.
I was just going to say that. That all could have been done in an email.
Yeah, I don't think we need to spend millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars to fly all these generals home to do this. And then, the whole, showing strength. He's showing strength as a great military leader. Your Secretary of War, which, by the way, we never did talk about this. I have absolutely no problem with Trump changing it from the Department of Defense to the Department of War, because it's totally more honest.
It is more honest.
It's at least more honest, because that's exactly what that department is.
Exactly.
No issue with it. What do you think about the Comey indictment? I'm trying to fly through here so we can get to your TikToks, but I wanted to get to as much as we could. Unless you had something you want to say about Hegseth.
No, it's the only things I could say about it that like makes sense. Then when he said them, he's like, yeah, women could do this too, but they have to meet the same standards as men, and people are clutching their pearls about that. But it's at the same time, it's like I don't know, like when
no
it comes
beard.
to yeah, for women, no beards. The beards does make sense, if you like, even like I work in like with chemicals and stuff like that, and in certain divisions of my company, you have to have your beard shaved clean so your respiratory mask like fits properly, without the beard creating not a perfect seal so those chemicals can be inhaled. That makes sense. Adolf Hitler shaved his beard short so he had a good seal because he almost died in the trenches. Unfortunately, he survived. in World War One. That's why he had.
That's what created the fun. That's what created the dumb mustache that nobody can ever wear again.
No, yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, right. He ruined that whole look.
Because that looks
so
sure
cool.
that look sure got the women in a tizzy. but pre-Adolf. But and then the other one is like women, if they want to be in the infantry, they have to abide by the same standards as men, which is fair because if you have a 250-pound guy out there who's all, like built up because all they're doing is fucking push-ups in the desert, and something and a God forbid an IED incident happens and he loses like a limb, and the platoon person next to him is a woman. God, you really hope that she can pick him up and carry him back to the sidelines. You know what I mean? Like, just like with firemen. If you're a bigger person and you're like, let's say I'm in a fucking house and there's a fire and I'm trapped in a room just because like the fire did some wacky shit, and I'm in a room and a fireman comes busting in and I'm like passed out from smoke inhalation.
Boy, I hope
sure as
he's
shit, hope. Yeah, boy, I hope he's qualified. Sure as shit, hope they can throw me over their shoulder and carry me out of the room.
Yeah, it's fair.
That's all.
People that clutch their pearls over that it's all performative. You talk to most women, honestly, like regular women out on the street, they kind of agree. It's like it makes sense. Like, if there's a woman that can lift a 250-pound muscular man over her shoulders and carry him out of combat, absolutely, she's qualified. I get it.
Yeah, that's just it. I'm not saying women can't do the job. There's probably millions of women that can.
You can just shut up, baby, because you hate America and you love abortion.
Can't lower the standard for them because they're a woman.
Right.
That's all.
Get it? That's why we have the WNBA. Because women can't dunk. Jeez. This isn't that hard. We can probably skip the Beardos video, Bell, if you want to get Corey's TikToks ready. I did want to talk about Comey just briefly here, because why is he indicted? He's indicted for lying in his testimony to Congress about whether he himself or somebody under his direction ever leaked information about the Trump or Clinton investigations to the press, to which he responded, no and never. Only the other way around. Never and then no. However, his deputy director, Andrew McCabe, says that Comey authorized him to leak information to various sources. Oh. So, right now, all we're really looking at is a he said, she said, he said argument. So, who's lying? One of them is lying. That's it.
One of them is trying to cover their ass.
And how are we going to figure this out? I mean, obviously, an indictment, a trial, bring it. I mean, bring it on. I want to know. But does Andrew McCabe retract his statement? Because was Andrew McCabe, was his testimony in front of Congress? I mean, I probably should have looked that up.
Oh, was he under oath?
Yeah. Because if he wasn't, then there isn't going to be a whole lot that comes of this. Was Andrew McCabe's testimony, or no, was Andrew McCabe under oath when?
Oh, shit, buddy. I got to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, I'm digging right now.
Digging a little deeper?
Yeah, so he was. Andrew McCabe
Yes.
Andrew McCabe gave sworn testimony before Congress on multiple occasions, including during House Intelligence Committee and Senate Judiciary Committee hearings. In those sessions, he discussed a range of topics related to FBI operations, including his authorization of media disclosures, his communications with then-Director James Comey, and internal FBI decision-making during the Clinton-Trump investigation. So they were both under oath. Somebody was lying. I got to tell you, I think Comey was lying, like if I had to guess, because I don't understand why Andrew McCabe, like what would his incentive be to lie about his boss?
Cover his ass.
Really? I mean, what covering his ass? He's lying to cover his ass. He's lying to cover his ass, saying that Comey directed him to leak information.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of a
I don't
motive
know.
of
It
why
doesn't
you
make
do
a
it.
whole
Yeah,
lot-
like he told me to.
Doesn't-
Just following orders.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know what's going to come of it. I find it interesting. And I want to say this too, because Pam Bondi came out and wanted to make this big, bold statement about the weaponization of the Justice Department has ended as she weaponizes the Justice Department. Now, you can say that it's warranted. That's fair. That's fine. But the weaponization of the Justice Department has ended. It's just beginning
right now.
But it's just beginning. Like this is going to be the new norm. At least as long as Trump and his and if there's a Trumpian type figure that comes after him is involved in government. And I'm not saying that to shit on Trump, because I don't put it all on him. But he does kind of bring that out of the executive branch and out of the Justice Department. And would the alternative to that be worse? Because the alternative to that is like we just go back to the status quo that we had before. I'm not necessarily going to say that's better. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it at this point. You know, if Comey had a heavy involvement in trying to frame a sitting president that, by the way, I don't like for treason, yeah, I think that something should be done about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely. Anyway, you got TikTok.
Speaking of the Benny Hill theme, I found this video, and right now it was ICE arresting someone in I don't even know where it was, but this scene right here literally looks like it should have the Benny Hill
Maryland.
theme. This is in Maryland. This scene looks like it should have the Benny Hill music to it. Go ahead and roll that bell.
Ayuda! Hand! Hand your hand! Hand me! Hand me! Ayúdame! Hand me! Hand me! Ayuda!
They're arresting someone in the street for people that are just listening.
Hand me!
And
Hand me!
people start talking shit.
Ayuda! Right there! Ayúdame! They're trying to
And watch what this agent fucking does.
Ayúdame! That's how they fight people!
Drops his handcuffs.
Put the gun down. Put the gun down.
His glasses are all fucking all over his face.
Point the gun. We have it.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. Just
Quick double tap pointed out that he dropped the magazine. Is that the magazine that was in the firearm, or was that his spare?
No, that was the magazine on the ground the whole time.
I didn't even see that.
His glasses are all sideways.
Oh my God. Well, you know, dude, it's that South Park episode where Mr. Garrison signs up to fight for ICE because he gets laid off because of the education cuts.
At least he had good trigger control. He pointed out the crowd, yes, but he did have trigger control. He didn't have his finger on the trigger.
I mean, unless there was one in the chamber, there were no bullets in that gun.
Fucking A, I hope not, man. The way that guy handles guns, Butterfinger, he was over there eating chicken fingers in the fucking.
Oh my God!
Deli, and he just saw someone that looked illegal.
Dude was pounding down churros before he removed that gun.
Yeah, he was eating street tacos, and then he saw a Mexican.
Oh, your food's delicious, but you got to go. What he doesn't know is that was the guy that made those churros.
This next one is talking about people like kind of holding politicians, like their favorite politicians, on a pedestal, right? Because like a lot of people in America do that.
It's a cult.
And just remember, none of them are your friends. None of them would piss on you to put you out if you were on fire. So go ahead and roll that one, Belle.
Well, what if your favorite politician is in the Epstein files? I don't have a favorite politician, you fucking freak! That's the issue!
Biden.
Why is that so hard to understand?
She's cutie pie, by the way.
It's probably nuts. The way she switched up her emotions like that. That's a warning.
Dude, it's so true because you do, like, you see those questions being asked, like, what if Trump's in the Epstein files? And then nobody ever answers the question. Like, you know, if you happen to be a Trump fan, and they'll just respond with, well, what if the Clintons are in the Epstein files? And it's like you guys are arguing over nothing. I'm not interested in your.
I was saying the only person I'd be disappointed. Yeah.
He's not in there. He's the one trying to get it out there. He's the one trying to get it out there.
Yeah, like the only Republican.
I mean, I'd be disappointed if he were in it or Rand Paul were in it, but I don't have any inkling that either of them were in it. It's like,
yeah,
dude,
there is. Okay, yeah, you might be disappointed, but there's not a single politician that I'm going to go to bat for and defend.
No, not even a little bit.
Like Kendrick Lamar once said, "They not like us."
Mm-hmm. He did say that once.
He said it a couple times.
Yeah, he did say it a couple, and it was very profound, and still profound to this day.
They not like us.
But she's totally right. Like, if you are a fan of a politician,
quick double tap brought up the Chicago cyclist one. Have you ever seen that one?
Maybe.
That also deserves a Benny Hill theme. It was there was another immigrant on a bird scooter or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's going down the street and he sees these ICE agents and he makes this quick U-turn and they all start chasing him. And then he makes another quick U-turn and he just scoots away with like 8 of these guys fucking hoofing it after him, and he just scoots away.
It's just like, I mean, it's hard not to, because I mean, we haven't seen this stuff going on. Luckily, I don't think there's a whole lot of this going on in Detroit where we are. We haven't seen any of it live. At least I haven't. And it's like, are they just
I've seen posts like in different local groups about like, ICE was here doing this, but I just haven't seen it personally.
Are they just tackling random brown people on the street? Like, is that? And I'm asking. I'm not accusing.
Doing, like, their homework and like have a picture and then like looking for them and scouting them out, kind of thing.
Well, they're hiring fucking unemployed McDonald's workers to become ICE agents. So I gotta believe that. Okay, Bell's got it.
Yeah, here you go.
Bell's got the scooter one.
Yeah.
This video going viral on social media, and you may have seen it. It ended up in my feed. It shows federal immigration agents chasing a man on a bicycle downtown. It was first posted over the weekend by a few different accounts. We saw it getting more than 13 million views on Twitter. This happened, it looks like you're taking a Wabash right there off of the river. That man on the bike allegedly made some comments toward the agents. Still, this video did not pick up audio of any threats being made or any acts of physical violence. The cyclist ultimately got away.
Why is Pete Hegseth not out there talking about no fatties or beardos in ICE? Oh, that's because it's not his department. Why is Kristi Noem? Why is Kristi Noem not out there talking about no fatties or beardos at ICE?
She's too busy shooting dogs.
That guy should be recruited. That guy should be recruited first off.
Yeah,
that was not an electric bike. That was a pedal bike.
He could be the Frank. It was a bike. He could be the Frank Abagnale of ICE.
All right.
It's a little
Speaking of
catch
ICE,
me if you can reference.
You know, we're making fun of their incompetence, but this one is talking a bit about the more nefarious shit that they're doing. And all this stuff that he talks about, like I think it's called Marlin and different things like that when it comes to the different programs that ICE is using. But ICE is in fact also surveilling American citizens. Go ahead and play that one, Bell.
As if we should be surprised.
ICE can now hack into my phone. ICE has made a number of moves lately that would strongly suggest they're increasing their surveillance capabilities as well as spying on U.S. citizens. The program called Graphite that they just got can hack my phone without me even clicking a link. All they need to do is send you a message to get access to your phone, your messaging, your cloud data, encrypted apps, even use your microphones to start listening to you. This feels like really conspiracy theory, right? Yeah. But this is all public information. The $2 million contract was awarded in 2024 under the Biden administration. So this was done by Democrats. No, the Biden administration actually blocked this contract with an executive order that was restricting the use of foreign spyware. But the company was bought out by a U.S. company this year, so ICE fully executed the contract. Too soon. I can't say execute anymore? I don't know, man. People are losing jobs and shit. Even if the government can use this now, I thought that ICE didn't have jurisdiction over U.S. citizens. Well, for one, even if this wasn't supposed to be used on U.S. citizens, SCOTUS just ruled that law enforcement can racially profile. So if they're targeting people based off looks, U.S. citizens, especially people of color, are going to get caught up in this. Yeah. But we can also see from other contracts that ICE is now intentionally targeting all U.S. citizens, like hiring contractors to scrub people's social media, compiling lists of anyone that is critical of ICE, even creating dossiers about some of those people. I heard about that, but this was also done in previous administrations. The contract was awarded under the 2 previous administrations, but it was focused on immigration violations. Now they're targeting people just for being critical of ICE, which suggests that the agency is moving away from immigration enforcement and more towards controlling dissent. There's even some evidence suggesting that they might be using stingray technology against protesters. They're using missiles on civilians? Those are called stingers. I don't think they've done that yet. Stingray technology is essentially a mobile cell phone tower that connects to your phone. I've heard of those. Law enforcement can drive around neighborhoods, and since your phone is always trying to connect to the strongest cell phone tower, it'll automatically connect to their tower emulator, which allows them to pinpoint your exact location down to an apartment. You are conveniently informed. Thank you. Once they connect to your phone, they can collect unique identifiers, which allow them to track you through the actual telecom networks in the future if they need to. It's like your fingerprint. Once they have it, they can track it back to you. And they're using these against protesters? We don't have confirmation. What we have is a couple of different independent researchers using tools like Marlin at large protests and have noticed significant mobile network anomalies, which suggests that at least one agency might be collecting information about protesters. I don't think I actually want a smartphone anymore. Mm-hmm. You've never heard of Faraday bags, have you? No, I can't say I have. Oh, damn.
Faraday bags, VPNs, those things all help you a little bit.
Barely.
Yeah. Until fucking the federal government makes VPNs illegal. I think they've already pushed for that a couple times, haven't they? Or am I making that up? I could be making that up.
What, Faraday bags making them illegal?
No, VPNs.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. And the last one I have is The Onion. The very well
is the Onion kind of back now? Because it was
looks
awful
like The
for a
Onion
long
is
time.
making a comeback. And
All
here
right,
The
that's
Onion
good.
is having a breaking news story coming right hot off the press. Go ahead and roll that one, Bell.
Breaking news now from Washington, where Vice President J.D. Vance has been hospitalized after the sudden return of his inner hillbilly. After decades in remission, the vice president abruptly began slurring his speech and blowing on a, quote, hootin' jug during the cabinet meeting this morning, alerting those present that something was urgently wrong.
For a bunch of Yankees, y'all got some damn fine hootin' jugs. I'm gonna catch me a squirrel and teach it to sing all purdy.
We're joined now by senior political analyst Jason Copeland from Washington. Jason, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, Dwight, I'm being told that the vice president has landed at Walter Reed, where doctors are currently fighting to save Vance's elite status. Now, the vice president has, of course, been very public and open about his past as a yokel, which he overcame at his days at Yale when he underwent multiple rounds of book learning. But as you just heard this morning, his condition reportedly took a significant turn for the worst, regressing from bumpkin to hayseed, all in just a matter of hours.
Yes, we're now hearing reports of the vice president stripping off his shirt and chasing a hog through the White House Rose Garden. Jason, what are doctors saying about Vance's chance of recovery?
Well, it may still be too early to tell. Vance underwent an immediate banjoectomy on arrival, which has helped to control his mountain dancing. But doctors really won't have a complete picture until they see how Vance responds to the fluids being administered to flush about 8 pounds of gas station Funyuns from his system.
These are obviously trying times for the vice president and his kinfolk, but we do have to ask about the political implications here.
Yeah, you're right, Dwight. I mean, this is a plowboy that's one heartbeat away from the presidency. And that would, of course, now fall to House Speaker Mike Johnson, who, let's be frank, has his own history of playing the spoons and eating mud bugs down in the swamplands of Louisiana. But look, Dwight, no matter what side of the aisle you're on right now, your thoughts have got to be with the vice president. I mean, this is a terrible disease. Big buck teeth can make it nearly impossible to speak. Severe pain from catching catfish with your bare hands. I really wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
A truly horrific illness. And has President Trump made any comment on Vance's condition?
No.
All right. Thank you, David. Coming up next, a new study on the benefits of breastfeeding. Hear why it could make your children better at suckling later in life.
No.
Did you hear the thing it said after that? The benefits of your child suckling later in life.
Dude.
When it comes
oh
to
my God. Fucking
the onion
JD
might be back, dude.
I loved it, but I mean, do we ever talk about how JD Vance is a fucking fake hillbilly anyway?
Right. He would share that though. That's the difference between him and Hakeem Jeffries.
Right. That's a
he
really
would
good
share
point.
that, thinking that's really funny.
JD Vance would laugh at that if it were Hakeem Jeffries being made fun of by Babylon B. He would probably ignore it, but
he'd probably call it racist.
Somehow. Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I mean, I've always said that the right has a slightly the right to the extent that it still exists. I should say MAGA has a slightly better sense of humor until they don't.
Yeah, and then they do the same thing that the left does and
Right.
try to use the government to stifle free speech. When the First Amendment is designed to protect what?
Speech that you don't like. It's really hard to get people to understand that.
All right, Dan, that's all I got. I'm out of gas.
That's good. Me too. Great episode. It was a little bit shitty.
Good episode,
we got through
boys.
It. What, you got a hangover already? Putting the sunglasses on?
Nah, I'm just peace out, Napoleon.
Why don't you tell the people where they can find us if you can read with those sunglasses on?
Well, Absurditive podcast. No, I'm just kidding. The Absurditive podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libsurditiveshow.com. We can be found at Libsurditive on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibsurdivePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libsurditive Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libsurditivepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Quick double taps apologizing if he derailed us a little bit. Nah.
Fuck yourself.
We derail ourselves all the time.
Oh, fuck yourself.
It's all good conversation. Even though we spent way too much time talking about Nick Fuentes. But hey, it's just one of those episodes. For Bella Body Snatcher.
Don't get bogged down by all the haters out there.
Just don't do it. Don't get bogged down by him.
For Bella Body Snatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, has been Corey Walsh.
And he's been Dan Griffin.
It's been Libsurditive Intellectual Idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, the world's smartest internet show. And until next time, we are out of here.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.